We kind of ran into that last year where the dew was on the grass early in the morning. Temperature wouldn't dry it out. Would like to get on the grass actually in practice, but I thought for the most part, putting in a new offense and new defense, interesting how when that occurs, you can see smoke coming out of people's helmets, and it's kind of fun to watch a little bit. And I think all the guys are really excited about that. I think anytime you change, and a lot of people look at change, well, change is part of life, and you hate for it to happen, but it happens. It's happened a lot in this conference, actually. When you think about coaching staffs, it's not just here, but I think we always just concentrate on our coaching staff, but it happens all over the conference. And with that being said, two things happen. Players that have been here are asked to gain more knowledge because it's a new system. Some players, due to the fact they've been here, now they have to prove themselves to a new coach. The coach has to earn the trust, if he's a new coach, of his players. So all that is part of the formula of when change takes place. And I think with that, I think our guys are handling pretty good on both sides of the ball. The speed of the practice was not quite what you anticipate because it's the first day of practice. But I thought the intentions were good. We stayed off the ground for the most part. And tomorrow's another day. And so I think as we continue to go down this road, we'll see improvement. I had a bad joke for the press today, and no one fell for it. I knew it wouldn't work, but I tried it anyway. So he'll be at practice tomorrow, so don't worry about it. If not, then something's wrong. So, questions?
What's your sense with these schematic changes, where that might be good for your personnel that you already have, and where there's some issues that you got to just build out more depth?
Well, we've talked about it, and I've made it perfectly clear. Our depth on both lines is not where we'd like it at this point in time, but we knew that when we took over. I said you got to have 20 offensive linemen in your program, and so we went out and we went free agency again. Grad transfers, or this wonderful thing they invented called the portal, which is kind of interesting. There's some things in that I think a lot of coaches are scratching their head about, but that's while it's in effect, we got to use it to our advantage. Defensive line-wise, I think we're pretty good inside with what we're trying to do. Outside, we have to have more length. Now we have some players that are young that have some length. We have to see if we can develop them, but our D-line coach has a nice disposition. I just kind of like the way he coaches. From afar, I've watched him, and he knows the system. That's what makes it so unique on defense. We have a lot of guys over there that have been in the system. So that's easy for the coaches. Now it's for the players to try to transform from a system that we had in the past that will still run some for sure, but I think we'll vary in both worlds now, which will help us.
And then the Tillman position.
Yes.
Moving forward, just how would you articulate?
Well, the Tillman position, he still goes by the name of Tillman. Now it's a strong safety, basically. He's one guy. He's a strong safety, and he's either at times going to be down in the box. He'll be in the middle of the field. He'll be playing halves. He'll cover, same thing, but he is in. What we've basically done when you go from what we had before, we played with 4 defensive backs rather than 5. Now we play with 3 more linebackers, okay? So what has happened when you do that, now you have to get into sub-defenses, which is a nickel package, which will be a nickel back or a dime back according to the offenses we play. But right now, we're playing a little bit more of a 4-3, and you only have 2 safeties, and you have 2 corners. But the safety, that Tillman guy, he's still a guy that's still versatile, and he's in our system. We'll never change the name. He's always going to be Tillman. He's just a different animal now in our defense. He's a different body type, let's say. He's a guy that can do a lot of things, and I think Evan has that look and has the ability to do some things, and I think we can use him to his strengths. He's a good player in the box. He's a good player blitzing. he gets all that, you know. And Rashari, all of a sudden, he becomes the center fielder a little bit more. As you guys know, Rashari has really good instincts playing the ball. So there's a lot of different ways. Our corners, right now, Chase and Jack have a lot of experience. I mean, all of a sudden, the secondary has some experience back there. You know, Rashard's a young guy, but Evans played now. The two corners have played a lot of football. Probably play a little bit more man-to-man that we did in the past, you know, and the fact that we're going to try to get a rush with 4 guys, sometimes 5, and put more pressure on the corners. Now, we say that right now, but it's like anything else. We'll see how it all transpires. But, I mean, that's our intentions. But we'll see how it looks and where it unfolds.
Coach, throwing a little bit of a curveball. Today in LA, they're celebrating Lions Gianna. Bryant just got it today and said the sport of basketball. What do they mean to the city, the country, and the world?
Well, Kobe was a friend. And I can remember the day that it happened. I was at home and I was watching golf, actually. And that's when the news hit. I can remember my wife being in the other room and told her what happened, and she started crying. And you know, it's kind of interesting because if you watch Kobe's life, you know, he was a Philadelphia guy, you know, and so his dad played for the Sixers when I was with the Eagles. Jelly Bean Bryant, you know, that's his dad. I mean, I knew who his dad was. To watch him over his career do the things he was able to do in a town that, you know, that's the town. LA is the town. I mean, you got to be a star. He was a star. And the thing that I appreciated about him the most is the way he competed. If in the dictionary, I think if there is the word compete and you had a picture, it'd be Kobe Bryant. Because he competed on both ends of the floor. He always did. That was just his nature. He loved the competition, and he loved basketball. And he was an ambassador for basketball. He touched so many people's lives. I mean, across the water, he touched people's lives. Women, he touched women's lives. And maybe little girls that played basketball, maybe because his daughter was a basketball player, you know. But he always had the idea he was promoting the game of basketball. And when you watched him play, if you were a Laker fan or not a Laker fan, you just enjoyed the way the guy competed. You just did. You just looked at it and you went, wow, this guy's really something. And that's what he brought to the table. And it's hard for me to believe that he's no longer with us. And the folks that passed as well, you know, that was a tragic accident. And my prayers go out to his family, to all those families that this tragedy struck. So that's kind of where it's at with me.
What you're saying about the, I mean, obviously going forward,
Yeah.
3-3-5. I mean, I know coming up this season depends on your opponents, but I mean, having that ability to be versatile like that.
Yeah, well, it's going to help you because we play some teams, obviously Washington State, where you need to have 5 guys on the field all the time. They don't run it a whole lot. Now they got a new coach. Now maybe he might run a little bit more, but it's basically the same offense. SC, and I think SC wants to run it more than they did last year. You know, but so they've got enough players to do whatever they like. They're very talented, but it helps you. It truly helps you. You know, so I think we've been versatile in that for 2 years. The players know the system. This is another system that we kind of played in the bowl game. We played some 4-man front. It's not nothing new, but it's maybe more of a base than had been in the past. What's good about it? I think the players are excited. And the fact that if you're up front now, you feel like I got an edge and I can go, you know, and the gaps are defined a little bit more in the run game, you know, which is a little bit different. But Danny and Coach White and those guys brought in a defense that was spectacular for 2 years. From where this team was defensively to where they had gone. I mean, without that defense, we don't make 2 bowls in 2 years. I mean, those guys were great coaches. They had a system. The players enjoyed it. But with that being said, when they left, you know, did you want to? And we were changing a little bit. It wasn't like we were trying to change the defense, but we were starting to morph more to the other way a little bit. And so I just think that can't thank those guys enough for letting us play in that system because it helped us a lot.
How important are hybrid pieces to your defense, especially when you're going to full down stuff?
Very, very, very important. But it was that way anyway. Football's like that anymore. I mean, the spread offense is here. It's in college, it's in high school, it's in pro football. I mean, you have to be athletic as a player, whether you're an inside backer or outside backer. The safeties have to be athletic because they spread you all over the field. And so the good thing is that when we were looking at secondary guys, we were looking at guys like that from the beginning because we were going to play with 5 anyway. Well, we're still going to play with 5 when we say nickel. Might play with 6 if you go down and you got on it. So, you know, it's just one of those deals. Yeah, I mean, it's just that's the world you live in now because of the spread offense.
Merlin, we're in the
Yes.
Did you say, hey, this offense is yours, call stuff what you want to call it? Or did you say, can you try to keep at least
No.
nomenclature stuff?
No, it's all brand new. They got a playbook. That's all new. They're going from ground zero. No, don't try to mix and match it. That's what we did our first 2 years here because of the quarterback. The first year I got here, I said, look, Manny has had 3 coordinators already. It's not fair to Manny. It's not fair to Nikhil. It's not fair to these kids that's been in this offense. Just keep it the same. You can add a couple things and we'll be fine. The defense is new, okay. But when Zach came in, I said, Zach, we start over now. I mean, we got a young quarterback, build it around the quarterback. I like what you do. I've studied it from afar. There's a lot of things that I see in my brain that match, kind of. And you guys saw a little bit of it today, you know, if you watch practice. So I just told them it starts over. And the players, I told the players, you got to learn it. You got to learn it. There's no more hand signals as a receiver. You're not getting a hand signal how to line up. You got to learn how to be a wide receiver. You got to learn the playbook. They have a playbook. Defense has a playbook. You have to learn this. And I think we're challenging the players to learn it. And they want to learn it. It's fun to them because it's new. You know, it's exciting. It's like, oh, I got to learn this. Yeah, you got to learn it. You know, we're not going to signal you and tell you, you know, five guys giving signals to wide receivers. It's just make them learn it.
Merlin wearing the Mandarin helmet, was that just from the whole game?
Yeah. And he really, I mean, numbers. Boy, he was really good. He had like, I want to say, he had 8 tackles. He had 2 forced fumbles. He had a fumble recovery. He had a sack and a half. And he had something else. Yeah, so he was Mandrake. It just carried over. I said, we won the game, you get the Mandrake helmet. What am I going to tell you? You know, I didn't have the music, you know, but it was like, everybody was kind of shocked because they were like, why is Coach pushing on the helmet? I said, did you forget we won our last game? I said, you got to give it away. You got to give a Mandrake helmet. So I think for the young guys, the freshmen that were here, they were kind of looking. And Jaden, you know, Jaden was sitting up there, and he was going, you're giving a Mandrake award? I said, yeah, and you didn't win it. I said, you didn't win it 5. How about that, right? He looked at me, started laughing. You know, poor guy.
Merlin was pretty candid about not playing as well last season as he had hoped.
Right.
And taking care of all the things,
Yep.
the body and all
Yep.
that.
Yep.
So what do you see from him just since then?
And when I gave him the award today, I said, now, that Merlin needs to keep showing up, that guy. And there was a lot of things that Merlin had to deal with last year. And to his credit, he fought through it, you know, just a lot of stuff. And that's what sometimes we fail to realize. You know, young people have things on their plate too. They're not just students. You know, as we know, Merlin has a family. I mean, that's big. And he's really done a good job of just trying to compartmentalize all that stuff, right? And it took him a while. And I told him, I said, look, Merlin, I'm here to help. I'm here to help you through all this, man. I get it. Don't, you know, and we had a lot of talks. And he kind of figured it out, you know, toward the end there. You could just see, say, okay, he's playing football. He's playing free again, you know. And it wasn't just that game. Prior to that, Arizona, he played good. You know. Oregon, he played good. It's like, man, this dude is starting to look like that guy again, you know. And I think there was a lot of pressure on him, too, coming in after his first year. And how do you deal with expectations, right? I mean, he played so good as a freshman. All those guys did. I mean, Rashari, too. Rashard didn't play as well in the beginning of the season. He had some things going, you know, and how do you deal with success? And all those freshmen that played early and they came in, and now we got another group of freshmen that played really good. One, we know who he is, you know, and everybody thinks he's going to take the team on his back and just, you know, like, no, you know, 5 is 5, you know. I had a bet. I didn't tell him yet, but I said, I bet you his first practice he's going to throw an interception. Because he didn't do it last year, right? He threw 1 pick, right? So I got this bet. Hopefully he doesn't hear this. I said he's going to throw a pick tomorrow. Get it over with, right? So, I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry. He was excused. He was excused, yeah. Yep. Personal reasons. I'll leave it at that.
Darius and Donovan spoke about how excited they're going to be being on the right side of the offensive
Yeah.
line as kind of the young veterans. How can that chemistry help?
Yeah, well, they're going to play together, and then eventually you might see them on the other side when those other guys leave, right? But I think what they went through last year, you got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, we didn't anticipate that we were going to start a freshman left tackle. You know, we tried to like, no, we're not doing this. And then after about the 3rd game, he says, yes, we are doing this. And then the right guard was a freshman, you know. They grew up a lot, learned a lot. I thought toward the end there, they got a little weary, right? They got a little weary because it's hard. You know, they're playing against seniors, juniors, a lot stronger, right? And it caught up to them a little bit, but I thought for the most part, they did a good job. Now they go to the other side. We have some senior leadership in that room because we're very young up there all of a sudden. But we got a young team. Like I said, we got 9 seniors, right? So our whole team is young. But I think that leadership of those guys that have played a lot of football will give some stability in the room, which you need, especially in offensive line, in the sport.
For the guys that came in early, I know this one practice, but on campus, how do you feel about practice?
We're more athletic. I made that comment to the team today. I told them, you know, and this, I don't know if you win football games because of this or not, but Joe and his group has done a nice job of getting guys stronger and faster. That little thing they put on their backs to judge their speed and all that. I mean, our first year here, there was maybe 6, 7 guys that went over 20. We got over 25 guys now. So, and that's not all, and we still got 15 guys that are not here. And I'm pretty sure when they get here, they can clock that too. So we've gotten faster. We're more athletic. Can't see it right now because everybody's thinking. But I think when it gets going and they figure out what to do, that'll help us. And we're stronger. You know, we just got to continue to work on our depth. If we can do that, we're starting to build the program in the right way, in my opinion. So that's where it's at. Right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, you guys, you indeed, you want